What's up, everyone? I'm Dr. Jacob Wilson. Today, we're going to talk about optimizing aerobic conditioning as well as fat loss and conditioning by comparing two methods, sprint interval training versus high-intensity interval training. Okay, but before we get into this, hey, if you love this content, the best way you can give back and support the channel is by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. So, guys, listen, we've talked about the importance of aerobic conditioning, right? If we recap, what do we say? We said, man, a lot of bodybuilders have been dying recently, right? So what we want to focus on is improving longevity. And how do you do that, guys? You need to focus on your heart. All these guys are dying of heart failure. We want to live a long time. But even besides living a long time, we want to have vascularity. We want to train with high volume so we can build bigger muscles. We want blood vessels surrounding the muscle to support growth and deliver amino acids to the muscle. So what I've talked about is that every week, you should dedicate at least 2 to 3 workouts to dedicated cardio. You should probably get at least 10,000 steps a day, or your watch, or even your phone. I'm old school, I just track using my phone. Okay, so today we're talking about sprint interval versus high intensity interval training. A lot of you go, I don't have time to do cardio, I don't have time. Well, everyone has time to do sprint interval training. Sprint interval training, you can do sled pushes, you can sprint up a hill, you can use a hammer and hit a tire. You need to do any activity that causes you to go to failure aerobically between 10 and 30 seconds. 10 and 30 seconds of all out effort. So for example, if you're doing a really heavy sled push or a car push, that might make you fail at 10 seconds. If you're sprinting all out up a hill, maybe you're almost gassed by 30 seconds. Guys, no more than 45 seconds, okay? And you're going to rest anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes between sets. You're going to repeat that 4 to 6 times. So 4 to 6 reps, 10 to 30 seconds, 100% all-out effort, nothing left. Now, let's compare that to doing high-intensity interval training. It's not the same thing. In high-intensity interval training, you're going to cycle in between normal cardio, low intensity, moderate intensity, and very high intensity. And your intervals are going to last about a minute. So you couldn't carry all out effort that's 10 to 30 seconds for a whole minute, right? So you've got to pace yourself somewhat. So here's how I like to do this. Start out at a perceived intensity of 5. Say that you're walking. Then do a stage of a minute at 6. That might be a light jog. Then a minute at 7. That's a little faster pace jog. Then you're going to go in 8. And on the 5th minute, you should be anywhere from a 9 to a 10 on effort by the time you hit that 60 seconds. Then you're going to go back down to a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Okay? So if you're a beginner, you can do that once, right? It's going to last about 5 minutes. If you're intermediate, do it twice. And if you're advanced, repeat that 3, no more than 4 times, okay? Because when we get past 20 minutes, we start to lose muscle. So let's compare the two. The sprint interval training is, some people like it a lot. We did a study in hockey players that we published where we showed it increased muscle mass. So it increased your aerobic conditioning and increases muscle mass. Problem is, it's not really great for fat loss. Whereas the aerobic training, the high-intensity interval training, you're not really going to build muscle with it, but you won't lose muscle and you lose a lot more fat, but it takes more time. So if you're already lean and you don't, or you're just trying to add mass and you're not worried about fat loss, do sprint interval training. If you're more concerned about fat loss and you're not in a mass gaining phase, do high-intensity interval training, okay? So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next time.